last review exercise, they were telling us what the chord is, but we're going to have to figure out how to determine the chord ourselves. So if you see all this right here, and you're thinking, what on earth, what chord is that? Is it a triad? And what inversion is it? So they're going to give you sort of step by step on how to figure out what this is, even though there are 7 notes of this. We're going to start with looking at what is the lowest pitch that's combined here. And it's this one right here, which is a D. So we have a little practice staff here where we're going to write in the D. And we know that this triad is going to have a D in it. And now we go up through the chord and look for anything that's not D that we need to add in. Okay. So the next highest note, well, that's also D. So we don't need that. But then above that, this is an F. So that's something new. So we're going to add an F down here above the D as we slowly figure out what triad this is. Now as we go through it here, there's another F, don't need that. B flat, well, we haven't had that yet. So we're going to write a B flat in right here to show that that's a new note. So now we have 3 notes, and then a D, and an F, and a B flat. Well, we have those already. So these are the only 3 notes that are here. So you might by now may recognize this as first inversion, or you might need to transpose the B flat down an octave to recognize, oh, this is a B flat major triad, and then put it back up there because you need to know it's first inversion. The third is on the bottom, which, as the text says, seems like a lot of work. It takes them a page and a half to describe it, but after you get practiced at it, you can do it very quickly, and it's not as hard as it might seem. They also point out what I think is a very good thing for people to memorize, that as long as triads are what you're looking for, it's going to be one of these combinations, these 7 vocabulary of triads: CEG, DFA, EGB, FAC, GBD, ACE, BDF. All triads will have these combinations. It might be C sharp, E natural, G flat or something. There could be all kinds of flats and sharps on them, but it will have these letters, because if you have these, you know that each one is a third apart. Sometimes in a piece of music, there's a triad going on, but they don't all happen at the same time, as you've seen earlier. Like this piece, here's an F on count 1, and then A and C on count 2, A and C on count 3. These 3 notes combined form this. So we would say this is an F major triad because it all goes together in that measure. This one here is a G, and then an E and a B. That could be E, G, B, or in this instance, G, B, E, because it's E diminished. I'm sorry, I meant saying B, it's B flat. E diminished, first inversion there. And here, this is D minor. Here's a D and an F and an A. That adds up to D minor. And this one, E, C, G, root position would be C, E, G, so it is C major. But it's not root position, the third's in the bottom. So that's the first inversion chord. A couple of other things you might encounter. In this piece of music, the triad is being built up over several measures. So it starts with just a G. Is that G major? Well, really a single note is nothing. It has no harmony. But now we have G and E. That could be E minor, E, G, B. It could be C major, C, E, G. Don't really know yet. That's why they have question marks here. But finally, we get added to the E and the G a C. So we have C, E, G. We can say definitely this is C major. And sort of by implication, the whole thing is C major, now that we see where it's going. You can also have incomplete triads, where, like it was up here, was it E minor? Is it C major? Well, it could be either one. This is an incomplete triad, but we could narrow it down to those 2, or maybe a few others. And that's what's going on here. This is a C minor chord, C, E flat, G, a doubled root, and that's fine, all 3 notes are here. But this one is C, C, E flat, C. It only has 2 notes, C and E flat. So they're saying we think it's C minor with this notation, INC, meaning incomplete. It's probably C minor, but it doesn't have all 3 notes, so we call it incomplete. G, B, D is G major, it's first inversion. G, B, another G, well, it's probably G major, but we'll call it incomplete because it doesn't have all the notes. Often, if a chord is incomplete, the 5th is what we'll be missing. And of course, they're going to show up in some of your assignments as theory books like to do.